Greetings from Seoul, Korea, and welcome to the GSL. I'm Tasteless, and with me is, of course, Artosis. We have a ton of awesome games we're going to cast today for you guys.
We do.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be back so soon. In fact, I just slept under the desk last night.
When the game's finished, we just crawl under here, pass out, wake up, and do some more. Guys, we have, of course, a very good friend of ours, Liquid Ret, playing today from TeamLiquid.net.
First match.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. Best Starcraft site, TeamLiquid.net, is going to have its star player out here, in my opinion. Yeah. You know what? 100 nerds just got angry. They're like, no, Huck. And then other people are like, no, it's TLO. I'm sorry.
You can't actually win
That's
on the
internet.
That's my
favorite.
Well, I do think he is the best player on the Team Liquid. And Liquid's, of course, a very solid team. So I have high expectations for this game coming up here. I think it's going to be pretty cool. We do have 5 best of 3s for the first chunk of today. Then we have a brief break, depending on how long the time will be. We're going to find out basically based on how long the games are for the start of the day. Then we go to 4 best of 3s for the final part. So wherever you are, thank you for joining us. This is the round of 64. We stop broadcasting games at this time after the round of 64. So I'm very sorry about that, but we do it in prime time. The other matches in prime time in Korea after this. But thank you so much for tuning in. If you are tuning in live, watching the beauties, thanks as well. Let's look at the match results for yesterday.
Fruit Dealer took out Tosiad 2-0, total standard ownage. SC Foyu took out the Warcraft 3 legend Lin 2-1. Really very long, epic TVT series. Definitely take a look at that one. The best Foyu, he took out Any Pro Prime. Very convincingly.
Yeah.
Definitely looked like the best, even though he later admitted he was not. And then Hongun Prime took out Nex Nea in a disgusting 2-0. I do not suggest that series to anybody.
Well, if you want to learn how to do a pretty cool cannon rush, Game 2 is pretty good. Let's take a look at today's matches. Take it away, Artosis.
All right, Liquid Ret. His name is Yos, not Joseph. But anyways,
Yosef.
Liquid Ret is going against Cyrano. And then JSL Zenith going against Kyrix. Ooh, that's going to be nice. JSL, of course, knocked out Nada from the qualifiers. Marine King Prime, that's what they call Foxer in Korea. He's going up against Next Line. I really like that ID, Marine King. That's good for him. Gumiho Foyu, the only random player, is going up against ST Monster. And then TSL Guinea Pig, great ID, going up against I'm Junwi, the StarCraft 1 Zerg legend.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool.
Really great matchups today. In fact, some of the best I've ever seen. There's a Zerg in every one, and there's no Zerg versus Zergs. I'm going to have a really good time this morning, Tasteless.
You're going to definitely know what you're talking about in this series. So, guys, thanks again for tuning in and joining us. We love esports. Everybody at GOMTV loves esports. Thank you to our sponsors at Sony Ericsson. You guys are the best. Wouldn't be possible without you. And thank you, Blizzard. I love StarCraft 2. It's so good.
I love it more than you love it, Tasteless.
We could have a love-off. I bet you'd lose. Let's see here. We're going to introduce our players next in just a little bit here. Of course, I want to talk about Liquid Ret a little bit more. I think there's more information that needs to be put out.
We don't really know much about this Cyrano guy. He's not even on a team.
Yeah, he's a pretty young guy, too. Cyrano's only 17. So I believe this is his first time in the booth playing on TV. Liquid Ret has a lot of experience. This is actually his second time coming in Korea for pro gaming.
Yeah.
I believe he's the only person who's actually done this.
He was here for, Idra was here for StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2.
No, but I mean coming first to Korea and then leaving and then coming in again.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
You are
quite
correct.
interesting.
You are correct. So, he is back, and he is better than ever. This guy, a legend in StarCraft 1. I mean, this guy was actually pro gamer level.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the most talented player I have ever met.
Right. He's very good.
Absolutely.
He's so solid. He's somebody that wasn't always active, but when he did become active, he would immediately go back to being on top.
Yeah.
That's
would it not
impressive.
take him long ever.
Right.
A few days after coming back, he's already beating all the top non-Koreans.
Right.
A couple weeks after that, he's actually beating pro gamers on IC Cup or something like that. Totally amazing player. He has not played a lot of StarCraft 2. And he just came back, maybe a couple months ago to StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
And here he is already in the round of 64 for the GSL. Just crushed through the qualifiers, as a lot of you may have seen.
He manhandled everybody, actually. It was pretty brutal. And, of course, actually, by the way, he also beat OGS MC in training yesterday, 5-1, I understand. It's pretty sick.
He does a good job.
Yeah.
He's doing really well in the Liquid OGS house.
Right.
And, yeah, man, he's just such a talented, great, skilled player. Definitely one of the favorites, in my opinion, of the entire tournament.
I think he's going to get pretty far. I'd be surprised if he loses this, but
he's got nerves of steel.
Yeah, so. Well, he doesn't get bothered, I guess, as much as some of these other players do. He, of course, does have experience. And let's get a shot of him now. Now, on a very human level, I have a lot of respect for this guy. Yost used to be a big guy. He's lost, I think, like 80 pounds, just been working out, quit smoking.
Yeah, I think he's actually lost like 50 kilograms or something.
Yeah, something insane like that. When he was first here in Korea, I hardly recognized him when he came here this time.
And, you know, he is just...
That shows a lot of motivation.
He is. He's a motivated guy. And I actually can't get over how skilled this guy actually is.
Yeah.
Just a scary macro beast. And I think we're going to see great things out of him. You know, he's also so accomplished. And he's played so many important matches all over the place. You know, he's won a DreamHack. He beat Nada at a BlizzCon.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be cool as a cucumber in that booth, basically. Now, his opponent, on the other hand, this kid is young. This kid is new. He's playing against, well, a non-Korean, so that's going to put even more pressure on him.
That's true, and of course, well, according to our stats sheet, he's most confident against Terran, and Yost is a Zerg, and Rhett is a Zerg. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But you never know. Some of these younger guys, they have nerves of steel.
Sometimes it does happen, but I would be really surprised if this kid isn't a little bit nervous in his first TV match ever.
Yeah, pressure's on him. So it's going to be an interesting series here. I think this is probably one of the easier opponents that Liquid Red could face.
Yeah, this guy, he's pretty unknown, but he is a good player. He backs a lot of good players.
Well, anybody that's getting this far, essentially, is quite good. If you guys are unfamiliar with the GSL, we start out with a bracket of like thousands of players and then whittle that down to 64.
That's right.
Only 64 people left. We, of course, don't broadcast all those games. We only broadcast the top 64. But if you're even this far, you got to be pretty accomplished. You know, it's quite a feat. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this game. We got a ton of games today, so I think it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah,
a lot of Zerg games today as well.
I'm really excited about this.
If you're a Zerg guy, this is pretty good for you. You're going to learn a lot, and you're going to see a lot of Zerg action.
Absolutely. Yeah,
we've seen a lot of the Zergs actually get knocked out, it feels like.
Yeah.
Especially against the Terrans with the Marine SCV Russias.
The metagame on the Korean server has actually turned against Zerg again. You know, after the patch, for a little bit, Zerg just started dominating on Korea.
Right.
But now everyone's kind of figured out these new ways to hurt Zerg. And right now, it's pretty hard for the Zerg players on the Korean ladder server. It is true.
Well, the Marine SCV Rush is pretty solid.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of... It depends also on positions, too. If Zerg's far away, it's better for the Zerg.
Yeah.
If Zerg's close to his opponent, though, it can be hard to get an expansion. Let's take a look at the map lineup.
Yes.
It is Metalopolis, Jungle Basin, and finally Xel'Naga Caverns.
And that is another reason we've been seeing Zergs lose a little bit more. They can't thumbs down maps.
Yeah.
So we have maps like this Jungle Basin map. That's going to be a very hard map for Rhett in this match.
Right. Jungle Basin, tough to get a third base on. Metalopolis, quite good for Zerg. Probably the best map for a Zerg player to play on. Xel'Naga Caverns, I would say it's fairly neutral compared to the other maps out there. But, Jungle Basin, that's going to be a tough one for Rhett. A good one for Cyrano.
Yeah.
Since
definitely. If
Protoss can two-base and basically just wait for the Zerg to expand. That's usually the strategy there, is to win in the mid-late game.
Yeah, it absolutely tastes. You're completely right. Zerg really can't hold on to fourth base there, so we're going to have to see what he has planned. But first, Metalopolis, time to start.
Let's get ready. All right. And it looks like my computer is the last one to load. Actually loading very slowly. Come on. And now we're in the game. Okay. In the red, Down here, actually very close to his opponent. Second time in Korea. He was formerly on the Eastro team. Now here, representing Team Liquid. Up here, pretty new guy to the scene. He's really, though, a force to be reckoned with. He did get to the top 64, as we said. That's no small feat. Now, note, both these guys are pretty close together. One thing we want to watch for is, will Liquid Ret manage to turn around the Overlord in time when he spots his opponent? The Overlord has slightly longer vision range than the Nexus, so sometimes when you spot them, you dart away, and that way you don't give away your own position, since this is a 4-player map.
That's right, but the probe does come out to check.
Did he see it?
He
looks like he's looking for it.
He will.
Hold on. There it is. All right.
That's something every top player should do. If you're on a map that does have close by air spots, do that, because most Zerg players are going to try to, fake you out and not let you see that. Now, that pro placement, this means it's probably going to be Forge first play.
Yeah.
Ret was considering going for a hatchery first build on this map, but that can be quite dangerous against his Forge first play. So we're going to have to see if he decides to do that or not. He's going to scout it quite quickly with his Overlord. So I think he's going to be okay.
Spawning pool first. Now, we have seen rushes where you put 2 pylons down here, just like we saw yesterday. And you can basically cannon rush the hatchery. But he's not going to go hatch first. Right. Wisely so in this situation.
Ret's going to patrol there at the bottom of the ramp, most likely. He wants to stop any cannon blocking. We're going to have to see if the probe does go for that.
We occasionally see players put the drone on patrol right in this area over here to deflect that attack. Now, one thing about this map, similar to Zelnaga Caverns, the berth over here is quite wide, as you can see in this region around here. So you got to be careful, because with roaches having 4 range since that patch, you can really get in there and do some nice, angling, take them out.
That's right. Now cannon does go up. Going to throw up a Nexus as well. Ret did really well to stop any getting cannon in, basically. So he's going to go ahead and have a normal opening. His hatchery starting just before that Nexus. It's basically as good a position as Ret could hope to be in right now.
Now, for the time being, we're going to have a little bit of a lull here. Not a lull, but a lull. As these guys try to macro up, there's a possibility of the Zerg taking a 3rd base, try to stay ahead. That was more common in Starcraft 1. We don't see it as much.
Yeah.
It seems like this phase of the metagame, 2-basing is still quite strong.
Well, the current style with Zerg right now, I do believe Ret is going to go ahead, get his drones up, get a 2nd queen out, and then go roach a little bit. Get Burrow, make sure that he's safe from any attacks, and then take the 3rd base. It's normally a lot safer to do it that way, and you need a lot more drones in this game than you did in StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
And with the queens, you already have some production, so likely that's what we're going to see Ret go ahead and do here.
Now, as you can see, the cybernetics core is on the way. When that finishes, we're going to have a better idea of exactly what kind of teching route our Protoss player is going to play. Meanwhile, probes transfer to the Nexus. A little bit late, but not too late.
That is right. Not too late.
Not too late.
It's never too late, Jason.
That's right. Now, one Zealot out here.
And the Zealot just kind of going out, see if he can hurt some Lings a little bit, scout a little bit maybe. Could force Ret to make another pair of Lings just to make sure that he has enough to hold it off.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's very good to, just send a unit out like that. He doesn't really need the Zealot right now.
Layers on the way.
His right speed also making, and in fact, those 2 Zerglings are being made by Ret just to be safe. You do kind of want 4 out on the map as opposed to 2.
Yeah, well, you can just deal with 1 Zealot. You're more likely to catch a probe. Now, note, Ret did not apply any pressure whatsoever.
I noticed that Overlord. This was actually really good by Ret. He goes down, checks the probe counts, just to make sure, nothing silly is going on.
Yeah, sometimes we see players cut probes and get a ton of gateways into a timing rush. Is this going to live?
Oh! Just barely.
So close.
That's too bad. It's great to actually have an Overlord back in that spot. It's the only spot on Metalopolis where you can do something like that.
Uh-oh.
And that Scout Zealot
taken out
live no more. Yep. And now it is time to see what tech our Protoss player actually wants to do. He's getting a couple more gases, throwing up some more gateways in his main, and as we see in the production tab, Rhett is getting Bro, he is getting Roach speed, and there we go, a Stargate. This is becoming increasingly popular because everyone loves to open Roaches with Burrow right now. It forces Protoss to get an Observer before really committing to an attack. And
yeah, that's quite true.
You know, and the counter to that, of course, is to go ahead and get a quick Void Ray.
Right.
Or sometimes we do see the Phoenixes as well, but a Void Ray can really pick on a Zerg that has no Hydralisks.
All right, he's massing up gateways. He may start stopping Pro production. May start stopping. Because eventually his minerals will have enough. Will have enough probes getting minerals here. Meanwhile, the hatchery is on the way.
Yep. Right after about 4 or 5 Roaches, Burrow and Speed get upgraded. Very standard opening here by Rhett.
Note this. This is really good. If you're new to StarCraft, you can drop creep in this from the Overlords. And Protoss, of course, is going to try to expand in this location, but he can't build on creep. That just forces him to try to push the Overlord out. And seconds can go miles in a game where there's so much you can do to get ahead.
And we do see there's actually 2 Stargates up now, and he's going to pump out Phoenixes. Now, this is a really good move, but you have to wait till about 4. Sometimes people wait till about 6, but an Overlord comes in, very smart, getting that Overlord speed right away, and uncovering the Phoenixes. That's going to make it so that Rhett can prepare a lot more for this attack. The trick is you get those Phoenixes going over before the Hydralisk Den is up, and if you have 4, you can take out Queens very easily, start killing Overlords, and it becomes extremely annoying to deal with.
All right, now he's going to have to reveal, or at least use these Phoenixes, because, of course, they have been spotted, so there's no point in hiding them. He's moving out. Meanwhile, Roach is over here attacking the Zealots. Now, there's not a ton of Protoss units, and the cannons are certainly not in the best position to defend against these Roaches. So he's warping in some more Stalkers over here.
That's right, and these Roaches, this is a really good pressure. He realizes, okay, he's going Phoenixes that quick after expansion. He's not going to have a lot of units. I can go and I can pressure a little bit, punish him for his tech choice. And he's just doing a little bit of harassment. See if he can waste some force fields on his opponent. Kill some units like that. That was a very high energy sentry. It's a great kill for Rhett to get.
And he's continuing to apply pressure over here.
Oh my, losing a lot of units. Too busy microing these Phoenixes.
He's going to get supply blocked here. Looks like he's continuing to mass up enough Overlords, but this is eventually going to buckle. This is going to be pretty bad.
Wow.
A force field over here. He's attacking this pylon. Now he can grab drones and, of course, Hydras. While Red is doing damage over here, I'm starting to wonder if these Phoenixes might be doing more damage. You consider an Overlord as 100 minerals.
Yeah, he definitely did get a lot of the minerals out, but, there's only a few warp gates up for Cyrano, so killing some of those units, especially those sentries that are just so strong, was a great move. And look at that, transitioning into the double robotics. You force the Hydras, and then you go double robotics Hydras. A very good move, but still, these Phoenixes going to get a lot of harassment damage in.
All right, he is still taking a ton of damage. The economy is pretty badly hurt. We have Hydras chasing him out right now.
That's right, and he has done a great job with these. Look at this, keeps on getting kills, but look at the supply differential. 86 to 128. That is Liquid Rhett for you. A great macro beast, great timings on his pressure, and he is looking very good right now, even though Cyrano has a really nice strategy that he is pulling off.
Now, Cyrano is still doing a ton of damage with these Phoenixes, but this is a lot of Hydras.
That is a lot of Hydras, and he might actually just go up and hit his opponent right before these Colossi get out. He's going to keep those.
He might actually bust him.
It definitely is a possibility. All those Hydras, he's already killed a lot of sentries, so it's going to be very hard to actually block this attack.
This is so good by Liquid Rhett. He's spreading these Overlords out. Hydra is so much better on creep because they are so slow when they're not on it.
That's right, making that creep highway, but Cyrano at the same time going to clean up a lot more Overlords. This attack, though, it's going to be deadly, and Cyrano is going to be nervous about this.
I think he's just going to break him down.
Oh, man, I think so. He has a great number of Roaches as well, so even with the Colossi pop out, he's going to have a lot of units to try to tank the damage.
He might be able to get this hatchery in time here.
The Colossus do pop. And Rhett is chased away, but not before doing some good damage there.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. He did carve away the forge, all the cannons. This expansion not terribly well defended.
And still killing a lot of overlords is Cyrano.
You know what's interesting about this is Liquid Ret really has not been supply blocked. He had there was a potential of that occurring, but he's been producing overlords so quickly.
He basically just massed overlords when he saw those come. Very smart move by him, because the supply block is part of the reason why it's so good. It really slows down your economy so much.
Meanwhile, these Phoenixes, I got to really commend Cyrano for actually keeping these alive the entire game. This requires a lot of multitasking. Now, this could be a moment where Liquid Ret will get supply blocked, and here he is now, because all these overlords are put together. It looks like he could get all of these.
Well, he does get supply blocked, but he is at 189 supply, so he's basically maxed out anyways. Gives him plenty of time to remake those overlords.
Now, the Protoss has to get this expansion up. Meanwhile, Ret taking this base down here.
I can tell you, I love Rhett's macro, man. This is one of the quickest
really
maxes I've ever seen. And he even has Infestors out now to help catch those really annoying Phoenixes.
There are 4 Colossi out now. Meanwhile, we have double Evolution Chamber and a Spire on the way.
That's right. He's getting +2/+2 in both ranged attack and carapace. He has a lot of hatcheries right now, getting so many upgrades, teching up to it. A hive. Just astoundingly good play by Rhett. Keeping one base up as the Protoss is taking his third. Rhett taking that 4th base.
Looks like he's moving out. I'm curious if he's going to get ready for an attack here. I think these cannons are going to be too much, though.
Yeah.
In combination with the Colossus.
You know, it may be a little bit hard to attack into that Protoss army, but Rhett is maxed out, and his army is basically Roach Hydra, so he's got to go and use this army so that he can switch units if need be.
We see him moving in here now. Nice force fields by the Protoss.
Yeah, very nice. This Colossi doing a ton of damage. In the meantime, the Phoenix is still killing some overlords, and after cleaning up most of the roaches, these Hydras are going to get completely fried by the Colossus.
Now, as you said, he was maxed out, so even though he looks like he lost that battle, he can now remake his army into what he wants it to be. But the Protoss does have a window of opportunity where he can attack here. It's all going to be down to this moment, and whether or not Liquid Ret is going to have the ability to reproduce his army as quick as he possibly can.
Yeah, he's going to have to get it quick as well. Those 5 Colossi, along with a handful of Stalkers and Sentries, he's going to have so many Corruptors, and there they are, a ton of them, going ahead, taking out these Colossus, and just rallying the Roaches and Hydras to try to take out the rest of the Stalkers.
So many Corruptors here.
I know, man, that is what you need to take those out.
And he is going to hold this off, it looks like. Will he? The Colossus is gone. It's just Roach Hydra now. And remember, it's very hard to remake those Colossuses.
That was actually a very, very close battle, by the way. You know, Rhett was up 50 supply at the beginning of the first battle, barely held that off, and his opponent does get away with the rest of the Stalkers.
Nice play here, by the way, hiding the Overlords back here. He was probably getting pretty fed up with that.
Both players actually playing astoundingly well this game.
Now, Liquid Ret does have the opportunity to expand to this location, but after that it's going to be tough for him to expand anywhere else. The gold base is pretty vulnerable. Not a bad place to go, but it is, you know, at times risky. If you make one mistake, they can counterattack and take that out. It looks like he's going to actually go in here and try to go for a kill move. Nope, backs away. Wisely so.
Gotta be careful those Corruptors as well. You know, if more Colossus are produced, he's definitely going to need them still. So Rhett back up at 185 supply. Cyrano, 150. So they're kind of back to where they were before that battle. And in the meantime, Rhett double expanding.
Double Expo. Damn.
Pretty smart, man. You know, he killed off those Colossus. It's going to take a while for him to remake them and really get offensive again. You know, those slow Zealots aren't going to be all that useful against this Roach-heavy army. So Rhett taking that time to go ahead and, hold on, Tasteless. We take a look down right here at the natural. A bunch of Broodlords are making. And Broodlord Roach, it's a great combo, also mixing in a few Zerglings here and there. You know, this is a great way to try to finish Protoss off. Now, does his opponent have Blink? That is what he's going to really need to help deal with that. But he does not have a Twilight Council anywhere.
Yeah, I don't see one.
Yeah, he does not have one. So he is not going to have Blink to help deal with those Broodlords. It's going to make it very much harder to kill them. It's really an important spell to get.
This is one of the few games I've seen where you've seen a successful Corruptor tech switching to Broodlords.
That's right.
That seems to be one of the harder things to do with Zerg in the late game.
It's very hard to pull off against good Protoss, but Rhett is showing us that he is amongst the very top Zergs in the world.
All right, the Broodlords are out. If Protoss can't hold this and get this base up, I think this game might be over. A ton of Broodlords.
Look at this, and good force fields. He's going to want to target these Broods and let the Colossus try to clean up the Roach. He's got to use some good force fields as well. And Rhett doing a lot of damage. Notice he is staying max throughout the battle, keeping up his macro. Very good job here by Rhett, but really, right now, we so need to see Blink research by our Protoss player.
You know, because force field can actually act as a double-edged sword if you don't have Blink, because you're actually blocking yourself off from the Broodlords.
Now look at this. He is going to cut down on these Broodlord numbers, but at the same time, Rhett is upgrading melee attack, which means he's probably going to switch over into some Ultras, and that'll help out against this very Stalker-heavy army.
This is actually an insane number of Zerg units. It's like a never-ending stream. You know, it's funny because Cyrano is, to an extent, holding it off, but the line never really ends here. Meanwhile, he's still continuing to warp in units. It's like a stream, two streams of armies just splashing against each other.
Yeah, but you know, Rhett, his economy is just so amazing by this time. He is still staying at a maxed out supply.
Yeah.
Our Protoss player, though, he's down at about 100, and that's about as high as he can keep it. And it looks like it's even going to get lower. Rhett's amazing economy management is exactly why he won this game.
Yeah, this game is over, man.
Almost every single Pro Zerg in Korea, I believe, would have lost this amazing play by Rhett, and he takes game one against Cyrano.
That was actually unbelievable play.
His economy management is second to none. Absolutely. Yeah. You know, I don't even know what to say. The reason he won that is because
you can really see how frustrated Cyrano is.
Cyrano is really good. I did not know who this guy was, but he is really, really good. He played an excellent game, and that would have beaten almost every single Pro Zerg.
I think so.
Almost every single one.
That was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
It was a very... It looked like a game that we'd see like in a year from now.
Yeah.
Because both those guys were actually teching, switching tech routes, and forcing his opponent to then get units that would be uncomfortable in this position. We saw that with Cyrano going to the Phoenixes. That forces the Zerg to make Hydralisks. Then he switches to Colossus and tries to get him in a little bit of a bind there. But at the same time, with Rhett, he was going to transition into Ling Ultra, since we know that because he was making the melee attack. He was also doing the same thing, so that was really impressive.
Oh, it was all the way impressive, Tasteless.
Yep.
I'm just like...
I was pretty sick, actually.
That makes me feel all warm and happy inside. You know, I love economy management.
Yeah.
I love when people actually can really pull it off, and Rhett did. He even had the extra macro hatchery. He expanded at perfect times, droned basically perfectly. It was the best economy management I've seen.
And
move over
to
Hydra.
This game started right now. So get ready for the next game.